Hi there, I'm Siddharth and it's time for me to take you on another EQ adventure. Now, there was a time when we were talking about electric cars storming into the market, but there were very few examples. Now, they are becoming more and more ubiquitous. In the Mercedes-Benz range, we're starting to see different cars with different applications at different ends of the spectrum. And in India too, that portfolio is already looking very generous. So in Europe, if the electric vehicle capital is Norway, here in the United States, it's got to be California. It's nice and sunny, there's a good charging network, and so we're all set to take these two babies on a nice long-distance adventure. So let's get this show on the road. Joining me on this journey are two of my friends, who I'm sure you know really well, Yogendra. So Yogendra Pratap and Hani Musthafa.
Pasadena, and it's a bit late from the schedule, and we are heading to San Francisco Holiday Inn, actually the Golden Gate. So it is around 600 kilometers, and here it's in miles. I think we can almost make it because this car has got a range of actually 580 kilometers, and Siddharth and Yogendra is in the EQB, which is short of range. So we definitely had to find places to charge and stop and go. That time I can also charge this and keep it ready with the full juice. Anyway, I want to get navigation done, so let me ask Mercedes to do it for me. Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
navigate me to Holiday Inn Golden Gate, San Francisco.
Please select from the following locations. Where do you want to go?
1.
I am calculating the route.
Life is so simple.
On day one, first leg of our drive is the really ambitious one. We're really going for it. More than 600 kilometers from Los Angeles all the way north to San Francisco. Now, I've chosen the EQB as my first car that I'm driving, and not the longer range EQS, because on this car you have a different battery pack. Of course, the range is lower. Here in the US, the EQB 350 that I'm driving has a range of about 227 miles. That translates to roughly 360 to 380 kilometers depending on how you drive. So for the most part, I am keeping the car, of course, in eco. I have full regeneration mode on, but I'm still not going to make it all the way, and so I will have to stop and charge. That's the true experience of driving an electric on such a long distance. So we've taken our first stop. Both the cars are plugged in and they're charging. Now, when we started this morning, we had a distance of 621 kilometers to cover. That's just under 400 miles. Now 385 kilometers still to go, and that means about 240 miles. Now, of course, both cars have very different range, so this still has about 44% battery left. This one was down to about 8 or 9%, which is why we had to stop right now and make sure that we top up at least to about 80% so that we can get going. The big USP on the EQS is undoubtedly its really substantial driving range. The car has over 530 miles or nearly 860 kilometers of maximum possible range on a full charge. There are driving modes you can toggle through if you want to enhance the way you drive. The sport mode is naturally very spirited and yes, enjoyable. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour can be done in just 4.3 seconds. And the car's operation, while quick, is silent too. Now, while the dynamics and overall trim are still similar to what we have in the Indian market, the EQB with us is after all US spec. It shares a fair amount with the Mercedes-Benz GLB, including some body panels. That is why the EQB has the same silhouette and stance as the GLB. The car's interior is distinct enough and yet familiar to Mercedes-Benz territory. The latest MBUX interface and that massive end-to-end hyper screen with attractive graphics are standouts for the EQS to boast. The virtual instrument cluster can be customized to also give you EV-specific readouts like your battery power or driving range. The sense of space in the cabin is impressive, and so you do get a good view of the outside environment. Still about 100 miles short of San Francisco, and while on the GLB I still had about a 70-mile range, we found a fast charger. It's a DC fast charger, so decided to stop, get some coffee and get the battery charged up once again. So 2 stops on this entire journey so far. Not so bad, better than what I had expected. And if you think about it and compare to an ICE car's range, well, we would have probably done this journey in maybe about 45 minutes or an hour lesser. Because don't forget, we've had 7 hours on the road, but we've also taken a nice generous lunch break. And of course, these 2 charging halts. Okay, so we got to the city and it's pretty late. And all everyone wants to do is just call it a day. The EQB has been a delight to drive today, and it accelerates very well. In the front, the passenger and driver have a commanding view of the road, and you get an instant sense of driving an SUV. But in terms of the way the car handles, especially its steering, it has a more compact car feel. To me, both these things being married into one vehicle are a good thing. Let's just say the electric revolution is here, and it's here to stay. The way these cars have performed today speaks volumes about the progress and innovation we are witnessing in the automobile industry. The Golden Gate Bridge. What a symbol internationally that this city of San Francisco is known for. Now, we got here really late last night, so no views. Everybody just wanted to crash and get some sleep. The bridge itself doesn't really need an introduction. We know it's red because, well, they built it like that to be able to spot it in thick fog. This Patagonia red color really stands out, right? Because typically for cars like the EQB or the GLB, you see so many grays, blacks, whites. This is really nice. Now, this car, of course, requires a whole lot more charging than that one. We made that point yesterday because of the difference in the battery sizes. So yes, we've had to make a few extra stops for that one. With the EQS, well, the whole pitch is about long range, and just looking at the car with its aerodynamic styling, you can understand the big difference in terms of being able to munch more miles with this one as compared to that one. But luckily right now they're both good on charge, and we've got to get going.